Good morning and welcome to Gulfstream today. Brian Nadeau, Samantha Perry with you on another absolutely beautiful day here in Hollandale Beach. You see the three surfaces, a firm turf course, a fast main track, the Tapeta in play as well on this 8-race Wednesday card as we kick off another 5-day race week. And Samantha, when the Fountain of Youth is behind you, the Florida Derby is front and center, and they're all looking up at Forte right now.
Yeah, he's sitting on top of the world right now and excited to see just kind of how he reacts off that race and comes back. And surely we'll get some new shooters for the Florida Derby as well.
Without a doubt, and that's 9 furlongs on April 1st, and we can't wait. And it was a big weekend, too, not only the Fountain of Youth card on Saturday, but, of course, we paid out that Rainbow Six on Sunday, over $5.2 million put into the pool in addition to the carryover. And what that means is we start new today. It's an 8-race card, so that'll be a little early today. Rainbow Six kicks off in race 3. Ron Nicoletti will be up a little bit later with a ticket, so a lot to look forward there, and it builds really quickly around here. But the early pick 5 kicks off in the opener, and I've got a ticket for you here on a firm turf course in race 1. $48. I did have to rework it. I scratched my top pick in race 3, so that was a little bit unfortunate. The single is in race 4. My best bet of the day, Moped Dennis, and then 3 deep in race 5 with a bomber scenic view. Not my long shot. I'll talk about it in a little bit, but $48 for that one. It is a good race to open, too, Samantha, on that firm turf course, 4-year-olds and up. We're sprinting 5 furlongs, the tag 35,000, and I had it, 4 deep. It was a spread kind of race, and you went to the 7, one of my runners in here. Silent Flash is going to be involved throughout with IRAD.
Yeah, and this is an angle that we talk about a lot here, this second off the Woodbine type of campaign here. IRAD Ortiz, there's nobody riding better than him at the moment, it seems like, and I think this horse is drawn a bit better today just from the sense of he can kind of see what goes on the inside of him. He was a little more drawn to the inside last out, and also that was coming from a September layoff, so you had to deal with the ship, getting acclimated to the weather down here, and Marty Drexler, his barn's getting rolling now.
Yeah, and he wheels him back on pretty tight rest, too, and I like that. It's a confident move. I kind of felt something might have had to give between him and Solardi. Solardi ran very, very well last time, but you said Silent Flash. Now, second off, he's got the race and he's outside. Right. I like him a little better, so I did use him on the ticket, but I went to the outside, towards the outside with the 8 Discreet Tune. You look at the turf race, it was 3 back. It was at Saratoga against tons better. He got the tightener out of the way last time, too.
Yeah, he did, and his pattern of form has been a bit questionable as of late, just in the late fall, but he's 6 years old. He's kind of a bigger colt. I guess he's a horse now that he's 6, but what I like about him is he's, in his older age, has gotten a bit more tactical. Sure. I feel like in those Monmouth races he was coming out of, I mean, those were some top sprinters that he was going against, at least in the summertime. I love this 5 furlong flat distance form. I think that he's a specialist, and just stretching out any further, that kind of is hard on him. So he is certainly a player here.
Yeah, and he's got 4 wins on the local lawn as well. You kept Solardi in second. This is a speed play for you. I thought he ran very, very well last night, hanging around when no one else did.
Yeah, and you kind of use a key word there, hanging. He switched into his left lead, and I think that was a product of him just being tired, not so much. Sometimes I can point to underlying issues, but I think he was just a little tired. He was coming off of Charlestown, a bull ring track there, 4.5 furlongs. That's a tough distance. People think that the shorter the distance, the easier it is on the horse. I think it's the exact opposite, Brian.
Yeah, they really have to run hard every step there. Charles Crome, he's going to have to hurry. There's no doubt about it. I think this could come back to him a little bit. Yeah. That's why I put him in second, but boy, all those are route races and now cutting back. We'll see. He's probably got to work out a trip as well. That's the early pick 5. The early pick 4 in race number 2. We'll get to a fast main track for the first time on the 8-race Wednesday card. These are 3-year-old fillies, maiden claimers. The tag 35,000. A little bit of a tricky 7 furlongs, especially for a few of these. We'll take a look at Samantha's ticket.
Yeah, and this is a kind of a narrow play for me here at a strong opinion in the 5th race. We'll get to this race in just a second, though. Race 3, I scratched out of, I'm sure you had the one, was who you scratched out of as well. Yep, and so the 6 is my top pick. That's built different from the Jose D'Angelo barn. Race number 4, this is a tough one. Non-winners of 2 lifetime. I do really like Moped Dennis. I just, there are a couple in there that I kind of have some question marks with as well. And in race number 5, my single, this is on the grass here, Spectacular Gal, Sappy Joseph, Edgar Zayas. Just these have been some hard hitters lately. $12 the play here.
Not a lot of changes on the card, at least significant ones. Blinkers do go on the 8 here, turn on the charm. And you mentioned Moped Dennis as well. He's going to be really, really tough, I think, in that spot. So maybe you got a leverage play there. In race number 2, though, I'll throw it to you. Good, better, best on top for you for Fausto Gutierrez. I didn't know what to make of him. She seemingly woke up at Tampa, but now she's back in the big leagues here.
Yeah, she is. And, that kind of gave her a little bit more experience, I think. She has had 5 lifetime outs already, and she's still just getting the hang of it. Not necessarily a mile, but she still tries hard at that distance. 6.5 at Tampa. They probably brought her over there just to get a race for that kind of distance, waiting for this 7 furlong to pop up here. And I think she should set a nice little trip here. There's not a ton of speed in this race, so she could just she won't have to go very quick early to steal the race.
No, I agree with that. The pace could be problematic for horses that want to come from out of it. My long shot's in here. That's the 7, Dot Marie. I don't know if we're getting 10 on this horse. She's a maiden special weight dropper. They ran her 6 times in maiden special weight, so maybe they thought they had something. Now, she hasn't done a lot of running, but if you just look at the figures, they match up with a group like this, and you're not supposed to be scared of anyone in here.
Yeah, no, you really can't be, and these Army Mule babies have been pretty precocious and it have shown they can really run on anything, so I think that there's going to have to be some things that go her way here, but if that drop wakes her up, she could be dangerous.
Yeah, and that in and of itself might be it, and that's what I'm seeing in a race like this. Stat on the 1 who's going to debut for Rohan Crichton and Irad Ortiz. She will not have to be a monster to run with this group.
No, she won't at all. And Rohan Crichton, with first-time starters debuting for Maiden Claiming, he's 6 for 36, 17%, $2.43 ROI. So, an average stat here. I think this filly will be bet quite heavily, and that's kind of what I wanted to pull this stat, maybe kind of pull you away from going where the money is here. You can't ignore connections like this, and Rohan actually does have a piece of this filly as well, but it's the rail draw for me. That is a bummer.
No, I agree, and normally you'd look at that stat and say, that's not bad, 16% with a big ROI. Rohan's a guy that's in the 20s, basically, with
all
everything.
The time, yeah,
exactly. So now we're down on the rail, which I totally agree with. Rohan and Irad, I'm just going to do it in my head. I think that's 14 for 26 together. That's impossible.
Yeah.
So you get a lot of pluses, but the rail, 7 furlongs on debut is not easy.
It's tough, yeah.
Yeah, it's tough for a young horse, too. So we'll see what we get. And as Samantha said, this is a horse that's going to take a lot of money as well, favored on the morning line. And I would expect her to be favored. I'll tell you what, if she's not, I'd be even more worried. So we'll see what we get there. Yeah. 2 down. That means there's 6 left on the 8-race Wednesday card. When we come back, it's Rainbow 6 time, and Ron Nicoletti's got a ticket for us.
And they're off.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Brian and Samantha with you on another beautiful day here at Gulfstream Park. Come on out and say hi. 8-race card, 2 down, 6 to go. That means it's Rainbow 6 time. And as I mentioned in the opener, we start anew today after that huge pool on Sunday. Over $40,000 is what it paid out if you got it. congratulations, Ron's back with a 32.40 here.
He is, and if you did have it on Sunday, really hats off to you because that was way harder than $40,000.
You know, it was way harder than $40,000. It was way harder too than if you looked at the odds. They were 4s and 5s and 9 to 2s. That's the beauty of a big pool and with some quote unquote dead money in there. But it was not easy at all.
No, it wasn't. But hopefully you're enjoying your little payday and can fire back again today. Ron's going 2 deep in the third, then he's going 3 by 3 in the fourth, in the fifth, claiming 62.50 here. He's got Moped Dennis in there as well. In race number 5, my on the 16th on the grass there, and he's got both of my picks in there. Spectacular Gal, I think that will be a tough horse, but he's putting some coverage in as well. 6th race must be his best bet. I've got this one on top too, and I think a lot of people will, especially with the scratches. Absolute Grit, Irad and Rohan, we just spoke about them. They're just on fire, and that horse has been facing a lot stronger competition. Race number 7, a mile on the grass here, and he's taking a couple inside horses, Orlando Noda, and I'll let you pronounce the number 2. I still can't quite get it. James
Aloysius.
There we go.
How about that?
Yeah, and that horse had some buzz after his second place finish behind Portfolio Company. And in the final race, 5 furlongs on the Tapeta. This is a tough one as well. He's got a little bit of coverage. The Tin Wolf Riot, that will be a tough one. 32.40 here.
And old James Aloysius on the comeback, a lot of talent. We'll show you a look at him in a little bit on the replay. But back here in race 3, significant scratch of the one. I Believe in Magic was 2-1 on the morning line, was my single as well. So that kind of gets all gone out of whack. I scratch into High Vibes, and I'll lead it off because we've got a replay of High Vibes as well. It's our first one we're going to show today. And I thought this horse ran very, very well. He's the one horse here. Your finishing order, okay, is 7-1-4. You can see where the first and third place finishers are, and you can kind of pick up what I'm putting down here. Basically, High Vibe bottoms out everybody, and then the 2 stalker closers are going to lick their chops and pick up the pieces. But I think at this point, nobody probably thought High Vibes was going to be second in this race. You can see the 2 horses gearing up on the outside. Now they're going to come with their run, and what does High Vibes do? He guts it all out down here. Won't let anybody but the winner pass him. I thought this was one of those much better than it looks efforts, Samantha, when you watch the replay. Now the price on him is long gone with the scratch of I Believe in Magic. And, of course, this was on the turf, and we've got to prove it on the Tapeta routing here. I thought that was a pretty good effort, though.
Yeah, it really was. And this is a race that I feel like lacks some speed as well, and this horse has shown he has some early turn of foot here. You know, I don't think anybody's going to go with him. Maybe the 7, Lamasco, will, but as far as another pace player, it's kind of gone here, and this is a horse that could steal it.
Yeah, the only negative is, and we've talked about this a lot, wiring routing on the Tapeta is much easier said than done. He's 0 for 4 on the surface, but 3 of them were in the money finishes. Built different. I couldn't get to him in my early pick 5. It would have been too expensive, but he's a horse that I really would have liked to have used. He ran well on the turf last time, too.
Yeah, very well, and was coming off, was being defeated by that 2-time winner, Swinatra, who's really just shocked everybody, just kind of said, need the lead type, and took it away. This horse just kind of sat behind and cruised in for a second-place finish there. And it wasn't a bad race at all. Andy won, came back to run over the weekend. And much stronger, didn't have a very good result out of that, but I still think fair play to Built Different. I think this filly will be involved.
Mutual interest with the 4s. This is it, who's kind of the house filly in here, and that she's got Tapeta form, and she's dropping too.
She is, and you know, I keep playing this filly, and I think you do too. You know, and she's going to have to show a little bit more here, but the drop in class should certainly help.
You would hope, right?
Yeah.
You know, she is the horse to be, but that doesn't mean you have to play her. But, you know, I think she's definitely a major player here. If it's not today, I don't know when it's going to be for her, because this is a group not only that she seemingly is better than, but they're playing her game as well. Now we'll go to the late pick 5. It's horizontals galore here on the Wednesday card. I like that. Seemingly every race has got a horizontal. And this one is back to 7 furlongs on the main track here. These are 3-year-olds and up, which have never won 2. The tag is 62.50. and you're up on the late 5.
I am, and I've got a couple singles in here, and I needed them too because I thought that race 7 and 8 could be very wide open. We'll get to this race in just a moment. My single in the 5th race is the 8 Spectacular Gal. I think this filly will be really tough today. Race number 6, my single is the 5 Absolute Grit for the Rohan Crichton barn. Another one that I feel has been facing a lot stronger competition. Sibelius is on his way to Dubai. Well, I'm sure he's there already for the sprint there. Race 7, this is a race with a really competitive race. I'm excited to watch it because a lot of horses trying the turf for the first time, coming off of some layoffs. We'll see what we get there, but my top pick, I'm going to the outside, and the rails are out, but it's my long shot of the day. That's a double clutch coming second off a layoff. And in race number 8, 5 furlong on the Tapeta, I feel like it could be bombs away, but Pardon Moi is who, actually no, it is Wolf Riot is my top pick.
I got that one on top too, and I agree with you. You're saying about the finale. There's a lot of horses in there that are very, very tough to trust.
Yeah.
We'll go back here to the 4th, though, and that opens up the sequence, as you can see there. I'll lead, well, you've got him, too. I'll lead it off. It's just Moped Dennis is my best bet of the day. The class drop, I just thought he was the right kind of single, Samantha, in a race where some of these others have been kind of treading water at this level.
Yeah.
He's dropping in half.
Yeah, he is. And actually, we have a stat on this is an interesting one, too, Brian. Yeah, for Jeremiah Englehart. So the last 5 years at Gulfstream Park, 2 for 4, 50%, $2.40 ROI on a 50% tag drop. And this is a stat here where when I put it at Gulfstream Park, it was this 2 for 4, 50%. But everywhere else, it was significantly less. But I think that this is important here.
No, I do agree with that because we've talked about Jeremiah from the the opening of the championship meet. He's a New York trainer based up throughout the year. Naira and Finger Lakes, and he, so the horses that he brings down here, he's not coming down I-95 just to run. He's coming down here to compete, and I think that stat kind of, shows that the horses that Jeremiah has brought down here are ready to roll, and he's going to find the right spots for him. And Moped Dennis looks like that.
Yeah, he does, and I'd love to see our cameraman Dennis on a moped. That'd be fun.
I would not, but to each their own. Straight Exacta, Drum and Drummer, who the cutback probably will help, but we're 1 for 31 here, people.
Yeah, this horse, somebody has to run second and third, and this is the horse that does it very, very well.
14 of them.
Yeah. It's quite impressive, actually. He's picking up a check every time. I mean, if you're a horse owner, Brian, you'd love to have a horse that would just kind of get there. But, yeah, Irad gets on him, but, I played him last time when Irad was on him. That was 2 starts back. I thought, oh, for sure, this is going to be the ticket, and it wasn't. And then the professional maiden free shipping beat him in that race, who won 2 in a row. Is completely surprising to me, but here nor there, this is a horse that's hard to trust.
Irad is absolutely tremendous, but he's not going to pick this horse up and break a 1 for 31, and you're going to get a very underlaid price to find out. Horses like this, you just have to play against, and I think that's why we've got Drum and Drummer in second. We differ a little bit from there. Allagash Run, I don't know what happened last time. Yeah. Maybe it was winners. At least he's got some upside. He
does, and that's the comment I put. What version do we get of him today? Do we get the one, his first 2 outs, where he was actually pretty impressive, or do we get the 62.51 last time when he claimed him? Antonio Sano doesn't waste any time, gets him right back in quick. We'll see today.
Yeah, and Antonio's had a good championship meet. He's not a guy that claims a lot of horses, actually. He plays the game very well, but he doesn't really dip in. He's 1 for 10, so maybe there's some significance there that he does jump in and claim Allagash Run. Late pick 4 time in the 5th. This is a good race. We're on the turf here. Firm turf course, of course. Fillies and Mares 4 and up, which have never won 3, or a dated claimer. The tag is 20. We'll take a look at my ticket here. It's $15 with a scratch. I had it for 30. We'll spread. You can see the ticket here. It's bookends early and late. The single is in race number 6. Samantha already talked about Absolute Grit, who's going to be something to 5 in there. Odds on for sure with a couple scratches. Another single, James Aloysius for me. Scratch, single into that one. I had the 9 as well. Scratches in that race. And then the dart landed on, 10, Wolf Rayette, with very little confidence, as you can kind of get when you're going 6 deep in there. That's a $15 ticket. I'm going to let you start out here in race 5 because my horse is way off the wall here. Where you went with the 8,
Yeah.
who you said, oh, you have Spectacular Gal singled.
Yeah, I do. And this is a filly that just as Dream on the turf, they are really not my favorite, but this is a filly that's actually been really consistent on the grass. Now, she hasn't won, but she still is just kind of finding her footing on it. She's only been on it 3 times in her life, so I give her some credit for that here. And the field she's facing, I feel like there's not much.
No, I don't disagree with that at all. I thought she was supposed to run better last time.
Right.
I know she was wide on the far turn, but this is a significant class drop.
Right.
Not only just on the face of it, 35 to 20, who's in here for 20 as well, and I think that has something to do with it, and that's why I just absolutely took a bomb in here. The 7 Scenic View. Let's bring up the replay, guys, because French Franc is the 9. She's in here too as one of the ones to beat. But here's Scenic View down towards the inside. And this was a trip for sure. You're going to see her. She's got a little bit of run here, and she's inside. I don't really think she liked being inside, and now she's in a vacuum a little bit and doesn't have a lot to go. I'm not so sure. Right here, you can see her checking a little bit. I don't think she wanted to come up in there anyway, and you're going to see her really check out of it. Was she going to win? No, she wasn't going to win, but she was going to be a lot closer here, and she's just going to basically get stopped while she seemingly had a little run. So what it does is it inflates the margin late. She's 30 to 1 on the morning line. She was 30 to 1 last time. I don't disagree with the morning line. The point is, I don't trust anyone.
Right.
Don't want too short of a price on Spectacular Gal. I'll take a shot at a huge price.
Yeah, and in a race like this, you have to sometimes. Yeah. I really thought that French Franc was... I had this horse on top last time. I thought that she was going to be the one to beat. And, she just kind of acted a bit calm in down the lane. I know she kind of got into some trouble that we saw there, but still I thought I thought she was better than that.
No,
and so I agree with you taking somebody a little bit off the wall. It's not out of the question.
Yeah, French Franc's going to go off the claim for Jose D'Angelo. It's a good 24% move. She draws well. She's got IRAT. She makes perfect sense in here. She's also not the most trustworthy type either. Now, she was moving up in class last time, but I agree with what Samantha was kind of hinting at. I thought she was supposed to run a little better there, and you saw it there. She didn't have a lot of trouble. She could have easily been closer. So just food for thought in a race where maybe at least one of the favorites could be a little bit vulnerable. Late pick 3-time in race 6. This is another 7 furlong. We got 3 of them on the main track today. I like that 4-year-olds and up. It's a starter optional claimer. Scratch the 6. Scratch the 7. They weren't necessarily huge players, but what it does is it knocks the price down on Absolute Grid, who is heck to pay regardless.
Yeah, and this is one of my singles here. And was it a single for you?
Yeah,
Yep.
Always was, too.
Yeah, so, this is a horse that... Look at the horses he's been running against. Candyman Rocket, Sibelius. These are all horses that are going on to stakes company, or Sibelius is going to Dubai for the World Cup, the Golden Shaheen, I think.
Shaheen.
Yep. And Candyman Rocket was so impressive. It proved it wasn't a fluke coming back again to win again. So he doesn't get any of that here today, and this seems like the door's wide open for him.
Yeah, I can't really add anything to that. He's in such good form. He's got fast figures. To play devil's advocate, though, and you've got him in second, Sensei Lawrence might be loose in here.
Yeah.
Lionel Reyes, we go off the claim for Sandino Hernandez, who everything he's sending out is super live. Now, to nitpick about Absolute Grid, he's been run off his feet a little bit of late, but I think Ira better keep him close because Sensei Lawrence is in good form now for a trainer that's been doing everything. He might be loose in here, too.
Yeah, he could. And Lionel Reyes, he knows this horse well. He won on him last time. And, Sandino Hernandez, he's been absolutely crushing it as of late. He worked the horse over Paul Meadows' track after he claimed him, which is always good to see them get another work under their belt. And this is going to be a tough horse.
Yeah,
he won't make it easy.
No, I agree. And he claimed him for 20, and what's happening today? He's not in for a tag. That's always a very, very confident move and something I think we sometimes overlook a little bit in our handicapping. Late double in race 7. This is a good one. Unfortunately, some scratches in here. The 4, the 5, the 8, and the 9 are all out on a firm turf course in this optional claimer going a mile. 4-year-olds and up. Guys, let's bring up the replay. I don't know if they're out or not for different reasons, or maybe because James Aloysius is on the comeback. We're not going to show you the whole race. We'll pick it up from here. This is a horse that really expend a lot of energy, Samantha, early in this race. He was rank as heck. He didn't want to settle. But I'll tell you what, when he did settle, and I understand Mount Rundle here is, 40-1. But watch this horse level off in the lane like he was a real comer here. We haven't seen him. This was April 23rd. We have not seen him since. He's got a world of talent, though.
He does, and before we went on air, we were trying to figure out where his name stemmed from, and I actually was kind of scanning through an article here, and they were saying, Danny Gargan had made a comment in this article that, in his debut when he ran second to Portfolio Company, who's turned out to be an incredible horse for Chad Brown, that he was just very green, and, he didn't have to encounter much in that win on the comeback there that we just watched the replay of, but still, like you said, leveled out is such a key word, I feel like, for him, because he was very green in that Saratoga debut, and look how much he matured from there to there, obviously with sidelines, with some issues, but hopefully he'll be back and better than ever.
Yeah, without a doubt. Danny Gargan has not started a lot of horses here at the championship meet. This is a horse that looks like he has a world of potential. Your long shot, right? Double clutch.
Yep.
Talk about that one.
Yeah, this is a horse that is exiting a pretty key race. Yeah. We saw up to the mark come back for Todd Pletcher and just be extremely impressive last week. Yeah, scary. Oof is right. That horse, I don't think anybody was expecting that, and we'll never get the price that he was the day that he beat Double Clutch. That was his first turf try and just
12-1, I think.
Yeah. Journeyman, who ran second, came back to win again. This is a horse that from the Rusty Arnold barn was coming off a bit of a break, and I thought he just needed to be a little bit tighter, and I think he will be now. He's lightly raced. He's kind of carries just a lot of flesh to him, but they've thought a lot of him from the beginning, which is good to see. Now, it's the post position for me, and the rails are out today at 42 feet.
Right.
So, that worries me just a little bit here. It's 1 mile, so Tyler's going to have to work out a trip, but this is a horse that he can close, and this could be a nice one.
A lot of back form and figures on this horse as well. Now we're second off. Up to the Mark, who we've been talking about, comes back in the Fountain of Youth card and airs again, and you'll never see him in an optional claimer.
No.
Not that he was in for a tag, but he's stakes company through and through now. He's a real talent. You got it. I don't know really where it came from. Maybe he got loose and that was it. Stat ran huge last time.
Yeah, and that was surprising. 22-1.
Kicked off the rainbow that day.
Yeah, and it was Safi Joseph, and we're all scratching our heads like, well, how did we not have this? You don't see that often.
Nope.
This is a horse we probably won't see at 22-1 again either, and that was a tough race. It's not like he was beating just some optional claim. I mean, it was solid. Can he pass horses? He's done it before.
And he'll have to today.
Exactly.
Because he's not making the front with not far now down inside.
Oh, yeah. There's no chance. So he'll have to show some versatility, but we'll see if it's not a fluke.
Yeah, he's going to have to put up maybe the bounce too, but he's a horse that on his day, as you saw last time, he can be very, very good and very, very dangerous. The finale is problematic as well. Race 8, we're sprinting on the Tapeta, 16 maiden claimers here. These are the 3-year-old fillies. They are pretty much all the same on paper.
Yeah, they
Somehow
are.
we land on the same horse.
Yeah, that's really surprising here, but I just kind of did a connections play, I suppose. In races like this, you kind of have to go just with what statistics tell you, and Jose D'Angelo, he's good at these nightcap races, and this is a filly making a drop in class here. This is a race that you could really make a case for any of them. It's hard to really say. But Wolf Riot, I think, is a filly that Jose Ortiz jumps on here. Maybe he'll let the pace play out in front of him a little bit and make one run. We'll see.
You picked up on what I was trying to do with the 8. I almost put this horse on top. I couldn't, but Eddie Police has been live, and he blew up the board a couple weeks ago at $102 or something. Hoochie Koo is the outsider. We don't know what to make of her, the wild card. She's going to come down from New York, going to add Lasix. Edgar Zayas gets aboard. Eddie's used him to success. You've got this one in your mix. I think she's potentially dangerous in here.
Yeah, she could. And this is a field that it's a ton of question marks. And she's worked over this Tapeta track, which you like to see. He's already given her a breeze over it. And getting Lasix for the first time, and that can really move a horse up.
Yeah, we scratched the 7 in this race. I don't expect Hoochie Coochie to be anywhere near 20-1. I would not shock me if they gravitate to her, because this is the type of race where a fresh new face can get played.
Right.
No pink party pants for you. Now,
No.
I put her in the mix. I don't trust her. They'll have to catch her, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
I've retired the pink party pants. Not gonna wear them today. Yeah, I thought she had to win last time. I honestly thought that she had to win the time before that too, and she just hasn't shown it. And this is her level, and Bucheros have been very productive on the Tapeta, but I can't play her here.
No, and you got Luis, and you got a quote-unquote big figure showing there as well. So they're going to better. Just a little tough to trust. They'll have to catch her. There's no doubt about that. Maybe the cutback helps too. But, I could see a lot of people singling her as the anchor or doing what Samantha and I are doing, and that's throwing the barn at her and seeing if somebody can upset her. And I tend to like that approach in this type of spot. So that's the 8 for you. But we're not going to leave you without the lightning round. And as we do each and every Wednesday, the standings are up. And as we do kind of each and every Wednesday, at least for the last couple of weeks now, Irad has he's kind of waved goodbye a little bit.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, that was a lot higher than I thought it was going to be.
It was a lot higher.
Yeah,
yes.
but we were speaking last week about how we kind of would see this shift back and forth, but he's taken a strong command, and deservingly so. I mean, he's riding a lot of horses, and you got to give credit to Luis Saez as well, and Jose. I mean, all of these guys, they're riding lights out right now.
I guess we're going to fight for second. I think that was 22 last week, and it's 32 now. But Jose has quietly crept up now on Luis Saez, who's been out of town, and he went to the Middle East as well. So there's one of the reasons why the gaps from the top is bigger and the second and third. But as you said, Irad is just on a different plane, and especially in the last month. Now, the trainer standings, conversely, should be a lot tighter here with, now this is a good one here.
Oh, yeah.
Safi and Todd are going to go down to the wire.
Yeah, they are, and both of them loaded. And this last month that we've got here leading up to the Florida Derby, it's going to be fires away with both of these barns. It'll be fun to see here.
Yeah, and they both won it. I know Safi broke the streak last year, and that was huge. How about the podium, though? Bill Mata, Antonio Sano, and Mike Maker going at it there for third. And as you can kind of figure out today, we were on about a half hour later today. The new post going forward now, each and every day, sans Florida Derby, of course, is 12:40. So just take note of that. We're going to be with you on 12:40 each and every day, with the exception of that April 1st Powerhouse Florida Derby card. Mary quite contrary, who we've seen just demolish everyone from the back, is taking her act on the road. Yeah,
she is, and look at her there with her ears up. She's such a cool horse. I know Ron really loves this horse as well, and loves interviewing Luca Panici. Unfortunately, he won't be at Keeneland to be able to do so, but I hope she has the travel in her to get it done. It'll be a fun race to watch.
I hope Luca's at Keeneland to be interviewed. But the Madison is, that's kind of the early season grade 1 goal for a lot of these fillies and mare sprinters. And I'll tell you what, Mary Quaquinteri, whoever shows up there, fits like a glove with them. And it's great to see. We've been rooting for her all along. Your best bet today?
I believe it is, Absolute Grit in race 6, one of my singles in my late pick 5.
Moped Dennis for me in race 4. 7-2 on the line. Your long shot was in the turf race, right?
Yeah, it was double clutch coming from the Rusty Arnold barn here, hoping to work out a trip.
And for me, it's a little earlier in the card in race 2, the maiden special weight dropper, Dot Marie. And then our sister track, Santa Anita, as well, is going to go to a 4-day race week. So take note of that. We've got the 4 days there, and there you can see it with their post times as well. And, of course, they're on their way down to the Santa Anita Derby. They ran the San Felipe over the weekend. Tim Yakteen won it with his horse. So
and credit to Stiletto Boy too.
Oh, good call.
Taking the big cap as well. That's a horse that anything you throw at him, he says, "I'll take it," and he finally got it done in the big cap. Yeah,
good call. They had one of their signature days on Saturday too. Stiletto Boy, we know from running third, actually back-to-back in the Pegasus. So good to see him get one out in California. The historic big cap Proxy was in there, and Defunded as well, who we're all in the Pegasus too. So that race is playing out as a very key race. That's it for us. We'll send it upstairs to Pete Aiello. We're happy to have you here on this 8-race Wednesday card. Best of luck.
Introducing the first racing tool from Pegasus to Preakness. Iconic venues.
Life is good, and Irad Ortiz Jr. has ran them off their feet in the Pegasus.
World-class racing. Millions at stake. New champions will be crowned. Only at First.